Hello everyone, welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David John Sponheim, running for president in 2016. And we are broadcasting right now on multiple networks. We're going to be talking to as many people as we can on a daily basis from 6 to 9 every day. Except of course Sunday, I take a break. And tonight we were talking about social issues, where we are battling in an area that Barack Obama has done very little to advance our nation. We've done very little to open dialogues between the races. Anybody who asks questions about Barack Obama is considered a racist by many people, especially Democrats. And that's not advancing our nation in any way. We're not questioning our president enough. And if we are, the media relegates us to the trash can of being whack jobs or Republicans, because they know that, of course, they can always play the Republican card. And of course, that card right now is perhaps the most important card in this country. The Republicans hold a stop point on Obamacare. They can prevent Obamacare from being implemented. They can virtually nullify Obamacare. And I think a lot of people are just getting to the point where they're realizing that Obama hasn't done enough, never planned this out for businesses, has had to stall certain aspects of those programs, eliminating people from collecting health insurance from their employers, forcing about 9,000 corporations to drop health care coverage for their employees, and then seeing this $2,500 fine waived for corporations but not for individuals. It's the most ridiculous thing, and then they're having problems with the computer integration into our nation's healthcare plan. Computer integration is stalling, and people are having a hard time with the whole concept of healthcare running smoothly. They're getting frustrated. I know people on Medicaid that are getting letters in the mail from people or from their local DSHS saying, beware of new changes in the Obamacare plan. And they're getting worried because they're on Medicaid. Well, what Barack Obama didn't tell anybody, ironically, is that people on Medicaid don't need to worry about getting a new health care coverage. They're already covered. In fact, if you make less than $62,000 a year, you're not in any way responsible for carrying your own health care insurance. That you will be completely void of any responsibility. You'll just go into the hospital and they'll say, oh yeah, you're hooking up to Medicaid. You see, Obamacare really is an expansion of Medicaid. It always has been. And it's always going to be. It was never going to be anything but that. So I ask you, are you getting tired of the fact that Barack Obama was the guy you voted for? Are you embarrassed yet, like this billboard says? You voted Obama, and now you're realizing that it's going to stall the entire system. And the government's shutting down. A government that's shutting down and wanting to spend another $1 trillion over 10 years. You see how meaningless this entire Obamacare discussion is? So yes, I agree with the Republicans. We definitely should let the government remain shut down at this point. Let Obama continue with egg on his face, threatening if the government doesn't extend the debt limit, he's not going to actually talk or compromise. What kind of a president doesn't want to compromise on key issues when the nation's government is shut down? I mean, at the very least, I would be at the table talking to both sides, both Republican and Democrats simultaneously, to get something going here. Now is not the time to shut down. But you see, this has been Barack Obama's pattern all along. He's been using our nation as his ego trip. His Obamacare plan is so important that he is holding our nation hostage, and the government shutdown is part of that, and virtually forcing us to a standstill because he won't talk to the Republicans. Can you imagine the egomaniacal nature of a person who would do that? He is cavalier, laughingly so, talking about the Republicans as though they're blackmailing him. He said that they were blackmailing him over this thing. That is the worst use of wordage I've ever heard, especially from a black president. He seems to be the one who uses the race card all the time. He seems to be the guy who's always pulling the race card. This is atrocious. Our country shouldn't be in a situation like this. We shouldn't have a person who is constantly holding the nation hijacked over simple issues. We've got people like John Kerry running around looking for war. Here's a caption of him out there. He looks like some sort of a demon. Yeah, a warring Secretary of State at a time when our budget is shrinking ever so fast. It's amazing. It never ceases to amaze me how these people keep pulling this stuff out of their proverbial butt. Look at the kind of life Barack Obama is leading. He might as well create the USS Barack Obama, an aircraft carrier with 3 holes and a clubhouse where he can serve his dark and light beer that he grows at the White House. He brews at the White House. I mean, seriously, this guy is wasting our tax dollars left and right and putting us deeper in debt left and right. He's overspent, 1.5 trillion a year since he's been president. That's why we are so close to the debt limit, and we've obviously reached it, and now we're in government shutdown. But he's pushed the envelope on everything and never really come up with any new ideas other than this nonsensical Obamacare. So what we have here is a legacy of 4 years where no jobs were created. No jobs to speak of, except maybe some government jobs for the ARRA, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, which cost us $787 billion. It's just unbelievable. He wasted another $787 billion putting up signs, literally, and giving out money to Finnish companies and saying the signs say, oh yes, American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, at work here. The signs cost $10 million. And the money to the Finnish motor company that's now bankrupt, Fisker, that was close to $2 billion. Let's not forget Solyndra and all that disaster with the $727 million lost to a solar company that couldn't make solar panels. I mean, the list goes on and on of his legacy of failures. And we virtually have a do-nothing president that lies incessantly to the American people. Here's one of his famous lies right here.
Then, we're betraying what I think is a solemn pact that we make with our veterans. My father served in World War II.
His father never served in World War II. Lolo Soetoro never served in World War II. None of his fathers or alleged fathers served in World War II. My father served in World War II. 3 tours of duty in the Marianas, fighting for this great nation. And now I'm seeing this guy bankrupted. Throw it away. All because the Republicans can't come up with a better solution. Well, it's time for the American voter to come up with a brand new solution as a third party emerges, as a new way of centrist politics sweeps the country. A time when we can all stand back and say, wow, remember the days when we bickered and fought over every single thing? I don't mind bickering and fighting over every single thing, but let's at least give everybody a floor to talk. The Republicans never got a chance to talk about Obamacare. They never got a chance to talk about a lot of the critical problems facing our country that they're worried about, like the budget. The Tea Parties were laughed at. Now, the Tea Party has a strong message, and that is fiscal conservancy. And I support that message. I want our nation to be fiscally conservative. But you got a president that he's so out of it. Check this out. He went on the campaign trail in 2012 in a bus that he purchased from Canada. And he spent, I believe, numerous millions of dollars on each bus, all to get his campaign going. And he bought the bus in Canada. I mean, this guy is not even thinking about American industry at all. Like Steve Wynn said, he's doing nothing for job creation and business growth. Nothing. Steve Wynn of Wynn Hotels voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and had misgivings afterward. And to this day is still very angry at the fact that business is getting no help whatsoever from Barack Obama. And I think worst of all, perhaps the worst indictment of all, has been his kowtowing to big corporate and oil interests. And we all remember when he kissed the ring finger of King Abdullah. Yeah, only slaves kissed the ring finger of the king in that country of Saudi Arabia. So what he did there was indicative of what a slave would do, and I'm sure King Abdullah was rather startled by his behavior. Apparently he owed King Abdullah for some of his education funds when he went to Occidental College. Oh, but we don't know that because we don't have any record of Barack Obama going to college. We have no proof that he even graduated. But somebody said in our room the other night, David, you got to stop Obama bashing. You have to stop Obama bashing. I would love to do that if he didn't keep playing the race card, if he didn't keep stepping up and pushing his agenda, his egomaniacal agenda in front of the American people. A war in Syria? Open borders with immigration problems already draining our capital as a nation? Not to mention our medical system falling apart, and then his pushing Obamacare on us, and nobody could question that. All right, so we talk about these shows every single night. We talk on the show about different subjects, and we must always be alert to the fact that if we don't stay vigilant and keep pushing for a third party, this has all been for naught. We're doing the best we can. The past 60, 70 years, third parties have been trying to push forward and get the American people to listen. Everything from the Reform Party of Ross Perot to the even the John Birch Society, the Peace and Freedom Group today, still champions an idea for a better America. They all come at it from a different angle. Whether they're socialists, whether they're peace and freedom people, or American constitutionalists, they're all coming at it from a different angle. But you know something? There's a lot of merit in almost every one of the independent parties' views. Whether it's the Green Party or whether it's the Socialist Party, there's some merit in all of these views. We have to learn to gather all the best of all of that and put it together into one package. And that's why we have a plan called hybrid capitalism, which could very well improve our economy and solve the problems. Because I really don't want to Obama bash. I would rather make these shows all about brand new ideas to help support our country. And I do. And we do have a Technology Thursday tomorrow night where we will be discussing all the brand new innovative technologies that America's Third Party is proposing for the future of this great nation. But in no way could I possibly ignore the fact that this guy is standing in the way of progress for the next 3 years. And it could get dirty and ugly for our great nation. And if we have to continually suffer and dig deep into our pockets to survive, we will. But we're not going to like the outcome. So we're going to want a new third party in 2016. So thanks for watching, and do catch our show from 6 to 9 every single night Pacific time, except Sunday.